Hey everybody, welcome back. This week we're going to talk about the coronavirus and how to prepare for it psychologically. Oh boy, everybody sure seems to be talking about this coronavirus, worrying about it. And hey, maybe they need to be to some extent. It could be a serious threat. I don't know. I'm not an epidemiologist, but I think there may be a threat even more serious than the coronavirus long term. And that threat, of course, is the coronavirus virus. All the anxiety around the coronavirus and our inability to manage it. In this video, I'm going to talk, what may be the root cause of that anxiety, and then if there's any possible ways to really manage it. I mean, you see this phenomenon a lot. We take our fear, our deep-seated anxiety around personal issues that is just very difficult to talk about. Issues that could go back 10, 20 years to our childhood. And we project those issues out onto something that's more socially acceptable to talk about. So a young woman, Gen Z millennial woman, will do this with spiders. It's very typical to find a young woman who's afraid of spiders. They're probably not afraid of spiders so much as they're afraid of intimacy, most likely. But it's difficult to talk about that. Difficult to go out in the world and say, boy, my life would be a lot better if I had a man in it who I could trust. That's the young woman saying that. It makes them feel vulnerable to say that, but it's cuter, it's more fun to say, I'm afraid of spiders. But what we find is that people will overcome their fear of spiders all the time without addressing the concrete fear of the spider. So without going to any sort of directed CBT exposure therapy for the spider, just any kind of therapy where you talk about your deeper issues, and the fear of the spider will take care of itself. I've seen this firsthand on several occasions with flight anxiety. People have a fear of flying, and they overcome the fear without flying more, without doing desensitization exercises, without doing exposure therapy, without visualization, just dealing with their anxiety in general. And what happens is they just find themselves on a flight the following year and just, wow, I just wasn't afraid of that anymore. And I notice this is particularly with young men and being afraid of women. I mean, this is what I experienced when I was a young man, way more afraid of women than I am now. It wasn't about the woman. It was about me and my personal issues, my deep-seated anxieties that almost really had not much to do. I mean, maybe a little bit to do with women and specific issues around that, sure, but also, more predominantly, my own insecurity issues. And I think we have a similar case going on now with coronavirus, which is one aspect, I think, of hypochondriasis, being overly afraid of your health and whether you're okay. Now look, it's healthy to have some kind of anxiety about your health, your physical health. But if you find yourself reading about how beta carotene is going to reduce your Alzheimer's risk by 0.05%, and then you go to the store and stock the fridge with carrots, then your anxiety is probably not the health so much. It's probably about a deeper issue that you're projecting onto that as a way. It's just a more socially acceptable thing to talk about. So yeah, I think it's great to safeguard yourself physically, strengthen your immune system in the threat of the coronavirus. And if you want to get supplies for any possible quarantine, I don't think that's crazy. I think that's just a rational approach. But I think the test is go out and prepare for the coronavirus. Do whatever you can. Get your vitamin C tablets, your surgical mask that you wear over your face. Do all that, and if you find that you're still afraid, or now you're going and talking about the next thing that the news is talking about, then the anxiety probably wasn't about the coronavirus or whatever the next thing is in the news. It's about a deeper issue that you have. This is about building up your physical immune system, but this is also about building up your psychological immune system. And I think the coronavirus, this perhaps very real existential threat, is a great opportunity for us to do this. I say a similar thing whenever somebody has a particularly difficult person in their life, like somebody who has real narcissistic characteristics, or somebody with a substance abuse problem, or somebody with a perhaps more serious personality disorder. A lot of people, a lot of psychologists will say, "Oh, cut them out of your life. Oh, they're narcissists. Get rid of them." I don't think that's necessarily the best thing to do. I don't think the best thing to do is to completely ignore the coronavirus and the very real potential threat that it is, but to instead use this as an opportunity for self-awareness. And if the coronavirus is bothering you to an excessive extent, if that person who has an alcohol problem or substance use problem in your life is bothering you to an excessive extent, again, I mean, not that you're always the problem, but if you find yourself just paying so much heed to this one problem outside of you at the expense of your own self-awareness, then use that as an opportunity to ask yourself, okay, this is an anxiety issue. This is a boundary issue. What am I really avoiding? What am I really afraid of? Confront that thing at the very least, bring awareness to that issue, manage it, and then you'll see that the problems with everything outside of you, whether it's the fear of spiders, the fear of flying, coronavirus, whoever the alcoholic or NPD person in your life happens to be, that simply just goes away naturally. Everything presents us with an opportunity for self-awareness. When we understand how our emotions work, when we understand how we can use our emotions to build up our identity, to strengthen our boundary, to make our ego stronger. I know a lot of people use ego in the pejorative sense. I don't think of it that way at all. It's just your sense of self. How do you build up your sense of self? How do you, as Jung talks about, individuate? Here at Animus Empire, we have completely, deconstructed at least a part of that in a way that nobody else has. Psychology, the entire field, isn't even looking in this area. We talk specifically about how your emotions work, well, what your emotions are, what your fundamental emotions are, how they work specifically, how anxiety works specifically. So if you find yourself, let's just say, with obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors, we know with 100% accuracy what your relationship with anxiety has been, what the obsessive thoughts mean, what the compulsive behaviors mean, and what specifically we can do about it. In fact, bringing awareness to the OCD, it presents the solution. The awareness to the problem presents the solution that you need. And that's exactly what we work on here at Animus. AnimusEmpire.com/schedule. We do free consultations. Just let us know what's going on. And if we can help you, then we can offer a solution. And if not, I will gladly point you to where I think you should go. So either way, you're going to be doing the right thing. AnimusEmpire.com/schedule. Or ask me a question, animus@animusempire.com. Thank you guys. I'll leave it there. Please like and subscribe. And always remember that when we're faced with this coronavirus, sure, take care of your physical immunity and also take care of your psychological immunity.